Welcome back to the Big Western Wedding Road Trip series. If you're new here, we just got married in Utah, and now we're making our way back across the country, taking the long way home and exploring some of the most beautiful places out west. And in this episode, we're kicking off part 2 of our Rocky Mountain National Park adventure. We're driving across the park from Grand Lake to Estes Park, a 48-mile stretch packed with some of the most incredible mountain scenery in the country. And even though that may seem like a short distance, the drive takes you up and over the Continental Divide, and trust me, you'll want to stop often for the views, wildlife, and hikes along the way. The Rocky Mountains are some of the oldest mountains on Earth, shaped over millions of years by glaciers, shifting plates, and erosion. The result? Jagged peaks, deep valleys, and alpine landscapes that you really have to see to believe. And in this episode, we're hopping out for several short hikes that lead to some unforgettable spots, from quiet lakes to sweeping overlooks. And, of course, we'll be experiencing the Rockies' famously unpredictable weather. One minute it's sunny, the next it's windy, cold, or stormy. We'll also stop at the Alpine Visitor Center, perched over 11,000 feet above sea level, to catch even more panoramic views and learn about the park's wild geology. Plus, keep your eyes open. There's a good chance you'll spot some wildlife along the way. So come along as we drive, hike, and explore one of the most incredible parks in the country. Let's hit the road, and, as always, enough talking, let's get to hiking. Alrighty, well, we just passed up the Timber Creek campground where we were originally going to stay tonight, and then on the GPS here, as you can see, we are about to go up some crazy switchbacks. And kind of a funny story, the last time we visited Rocky Mountain National Park, Sam and I were in some shorts down in this area. I think it was like 80 degrees, and then do you remember what happened whenever we started going up the switchbacks?
We froze.
Yeah, I mean, there was literally 10-foot snow walls, but that's to be expected here in the Rockies. But right now it's 47. Let's see what the temperature is once we get to the very top visitor center. I keep forgetting what it's called, but yeah, we're gonna start hitting some switchbacks here shortly, and the higher we go, the colder it will get. So we'll see you at the next stop. All right, well, we have definitely gained some elevation, probably a solid 2,000 feet. We were just down in the meadow way below us a few minutes ago, but we've stopped here at an area known as
Far View Curve.
And check out these views. I believe we got some 13ers, maybe even a 14er off in the distance. Let's take a walk up here and see if there's a better view. Bertha is looking rough. Look at the size of that bug. Oh my God. Well, before we hit the road again, here is one last view of Far View Outlook, I think it was called. You can see the meadow off in the distance. You can see the trail that we just hiked way down there. Like I said, we're probably easily at least 1,000 feet above where we were before, which would put us at pretty close to 10,000 feet elevation right now. See some more mountains off in the distance, but yeah, pretty spectacular view. And they're only going to get better the higher we get. What do you think? You can see the trail that we just did. That little white path. At our next stop, this is the Lake Irene trailhead here. We are well above 10,000 feet in elevation right now. I want to say 10,500. Trying not to get run over here. Not really sure if we have to hike to get to Lake Irene, but we'll take you down here a little bit and we'll see what we can see. Alrighty folks, here we are. After a very short stroll, we have arrived at the beautiful Irene Lake. And in these high elevations, the snowpack will be so high during the winter months. Whenever the warmer temperatures arrive, all that snow will melt and it'll just form these tiny little lakes here up above 10,000 feet in elevation. Not sure what kind of pine trees these are. I don't know if these are pitchpole or ponderosa, but not too many aspen trees this high up. But yeah, just a gorgeous view here. Check this out. So yeah, we're gonna hang here for a couple more minutes, head on back. Just trying to give you the whole Rocky Mountain National Park experience all in one video. This might be an hour long, but hey, we're gonna show you the best of the best today. And then tomorrow, top it off with the best hike in Colorado, which is located right here in Rocky Mountain. You're not gonna wanna miss that. So yeah, I'm excited. Well, once you get out of the sunlight, the lake kind of takes on a whole nother perspective. Just beautiful on this side. But yeah, I think this is going to be the last view here of Lake Irene. We're going to head back to Bertha and gain a little bit more elevation. I think by the end of the day, the highest point of the drive is over 12,000 feet. So we'll see how elevation sickness goes. But yeah, one last look at Lake Irene. A little beautiful lake here, tucked away in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Alrighty, well, our next stop on the Great Rocky Mountain National Park World Tour, we have arrived here at Milner Pass. Check this view out. This might be the coolest view that we've seen all day. Another one of these alpine lakes where all that snow melt will just fill these up each and every year. Kind of an interesting point here though. We are standing right along the Continental Divide. And if you're not sure what that means, half of this mountain will drain into the Pacific, and then half of this mountain will drain down into the Gulf of Mexico, I believe. So pretty interesting geological point here within the heart of the Rocky Mountains. But yeah, this has to be one of the cooler views that we've seen throughout the day so far. But yeah, this is Milner Pass, or Milner Point. Just gonna stop here for 1 second, take a couple pictures, and we will be entering probably the coolest drive that you will see in any of the national parks, where you zigzag on up towards the Alpine Visitor Center and 12,000 feet of elevation. But yeah, one last look here at Milner Point. All right, as you can see, we have gained some more elevation. We are nearing 11,000 feet right now. You get some amazing views of the surrounding hills and mountains. And then just behind me here, you can see the cars kind of crisscrossing the tundra above me. And also, if you notice, the tree line just abruptly stops. Here in Colorado, I want to say the tree line ends around 11,000 feet, so that's a good indicator. And then behind me, you could see all these gray mountains off in the distance where the tree line also stops. They look like it's just one giant chunk of rock, but after doing that 13 or a couple days ago, it's just thousands of these tiny little pieces of slate. So pretty interesting to look at this and just take this all in. But there's Bertha. She's climbing another mountain. You can see the mountain pass we're about to climb up. And like I said, it has to be one of the most white knuckle drives you will do in America. So yeah, we'll be up there in just a couple minutes. The Alpine Visitor Center is somewhere at the top of this ridge, but we're just gonna keep switchbacking back and forth until we get to the top of this pretty impressive sized mountain here. So you ready?
Ready.
You nervous? You got your seatbelt on? Trust my driving?
don't know about that one.
All right, guys, let's get it. Well, more mountain views as we start to ascend up towards the visitor center. Take a look at this big S-bend here as we continue up towards the tundra. Behind me here is a little area known as Medicine Bow Curve. Not really sure what it is, but I think we're gonna take a quick little stroll and give you some amazing views here. Like, look at this. Hiking in the tundra. This is pretty reminiscent to the 13er I did a couple days ago, but look at this. Another nice little alpine lake here up in the tundra. And to be totally honest, this trail could continue on another 20 miles and I would never know. I'm gonna try to make it up to that ridge line and maybe get a nice view overlooking this other valley here and turn around. I think Sam thought I would only be 5 minutes, but yeah, we gotta see what is at least at the top of this hillside here. So let's get going. Alrighty folks, well, if you can't already tell, I am out of breath. I think we're nearing 12,000 feet in elevation, but here you are, the end of the, I don't know, half-mile trail here. I believe this is Medicine Bow Curve here, as they call it. As you can see, this valley kind of curves around into another valley down below. Some awesome peaks off in the distance, standing up here in the tundra. Give you the full 360-degree view here. Definitely worth the run up. But yeah, the longer I stay out here, the better these altitudes get. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay here for 1 second, get a little B-roll, and then we'll run on back and meet up with Sam. You can see some hikers way off in the distance there as well. There's a trail. Not really sure where that goes to, but there's another option for you out there. But yeah, one last look at Medicine Bow Curve. Alrighty, here we are. Finally made it to the Alpine Visitor Center. Sam and I visited here, as I said, multiple times already, about 7 or 8 years ago, right? And we were here in July, and the snowpack was about as high as these poles here. I mean, no joke, easily, what, over 12 feet tall probably?
Yeah, maybe we can find the picture and post it.
You could see some remnants of snow off in the distance. But yeah, we're gonna take you in the visitor center. Last time we were here, they had food, so I think we're gonna get a bite to eat, relax a little bit. We're gonna try to book our hotel for the night, and yeah, so come along with us into the visitor center. More views for you. 11,000 feet and some change. I guess this is like my new collection now. I got one from Arches and Canyonlands. These are awesome. Pretty interesting sign here. As you can see, the mountain is kind of in a bowl shape, and explains why. This is something called a circus, and they are the birthplace of glaciers. The cirque before you was the birthplace of many glaciers several times during the last 2 million years. Snow hundreds of feet deep accumulated at the top of this valley, and the tremendous weight kind of just pushed down this hillside, and that is how this was all formed. Still see some of the snow remnants off in the distance there, and in another month or two, this place will surely be seeing more snow. Hot dog at 12,000 feet. Can't beat that. Check out that pretty massive lake tucked in between a couple mountains. Thousands of years ago, that was probably just a giant glacier that would have just receded. But yeah, pretty epic. And I just heard a Pika off in the distance. I'm guessing that's what these folks are taking pictures of. Oh, just heard, there's a Pika right here. See him? See him? There's a Pika there and a marmot not too far away. Little guy go. The mountain hamster. Alrighty, well, said goodbye to the peak of the marmot and that awesome mountain off in the distance, and we're gonna meander our way up here. Looks like it's only about a half a mile of a trail, if that, and see what kind of views we get up here. Well, we have almost reached the end here. As you can see, the trail has pretty much flattened out, but check out these little rock outcroppings on top of the mountain here. Hopefully you folks can hear me. Don't let my t-shirt deceive you. It was about 50 degrees, and with this wind chill up here, it's got to be in the low 40s, I would imagine. But the sun's beating down whenever you're climbing up in these higher elevations. It does tend to get warm. But yeah, check out this alien-like landscape here. You can see the road kind of crisscrossing down below, as well as the Alpine Visitor Center, and even a 13er off in the distance there. But yeah, this is a pretty cool looking environment up here. I think the trail ends not too far in front of me, but yeah, look at this place. Well, hopefully you folks can hear me, because it is windy up here. It looks like a storm's blowing in, but check out some more of these really interesting rock formations. If there was a theme for this entire trip, it would just be like alien worlds, you know, everything from the Kansas Badlands to Canyonlands, Black Canyon and the Gunnison to these. I mean, we've seen some very interesting geological formations here. I wish I knew a little bit more about geology. But yeah, check these out. You can obviously tell these are two different layers here. I used to remember what this sparkly silver used to be called. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but it's pretty darn unique. You can see some crystals and whatnot lining this rock here. The lichen covered boulder up top. Just a very awesome landscape. And then off behind me here, you can see the road as it starts to descend down to Estes Park. Wow, though. A couple snow pockets. This place is just something else. We still got a little bit of the trail left to do, but couldn't pass this up. This is cool right here. Well, apparently these guys are known as the mushroom rocks. Here's a little information. These mushroom-shaped rocks were born of fire and water. The dark-colored schist was originally sand, silt, and clay, which I'm guessing was the top layer there that I was talking about earlier, and clay at the bottom of the sea. Magma from deep in the earth invaded the schist and gradually cooled into lighter-colored granite. Mushroom shapes formed when granite stems eroded more quickly than the schist caps. So apparently some of that is granite, but check those out. Well, a nice little panoramic view. We've made it to the end of the trail, and another mushroom rock set up upon the ridge here. We'll climb to the top. Looks like there's a little plaque here. I'll take you up and show you what it says. The mountain index on this rock is a memorial to Roger Wolcott Toll. Pretty cool. Let's see if we can keep climbing. Look at all this lichen. Pretty interesting. Pretty high up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we're over 12,000. But I can already hear the wind whipping right over this ridge line here. Yeah. Look at this view. Alright, well, we did it. Another trail conquered. I want to see what that is. It's like there's a memorial of some sort at the top here. Look at us. Look at that view. Yeah, it is windy up here. Alright, one last view from Mushroom Rocks before we start to descend. This was probably the best hike we've done all day. It was only half a mile, nothing crazy, but you get some really rewarding views of the surrounding mountains and the tundra. So let's head on back down. Well, as you can see, the weather here in the Rockies can change in literally an instant. Looks like we got a storm blowing in, some rain coming down, or it might be snow. Like I said, with the wind chill right now, it's got to be in the 30s. Everybody else is bundled up except for my crazy butt out here. But yeah, just wanted to show you these views. Whenever we came here this morning, it was pretty much a bluebird day, and now look at it. Pretty angry looking skies. I think we're a little late in the year to worry about lightning and stuff, but every year, sadly, people get struck by lightning out in this park, and a lot of them don't make it. So you always want to be safe about that. We're gonna make it back down to Bertha and start a descent back down to Estes Park. So see you at Bertha. All right, for our 20th stop today, we've made it here to the Forest View Overlook. You want to tell them what you just spotted out the side of the window?
I think they were elk, but I don't really know. We were kind of driving and couldn't pull over to the side, so hopefully when we get up here to the top, we can maybe see around this cliff and into that little canyon.
From what she said, there was a dozen of them, so we're gonna go ahead and guess that it was elk. This is definitely their type of terrain. Some more views for you. We just came, those are the mushroom rocks up there. I was just standing on top of that one at the very end, believe it or not. But yeah, definitely a very moody view up here, up in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. So let's take you to the end here, and we'll be looking at another overlook. Sam's on a mission now to see these elk. Well, this is definitely my type of signage here. Pointing out all the different mountains that we're looking at, including a glacier up in that area. That guy looks like he's almost totally melted. So Teratama Mountain is this kind of flat slope, almost looking like Half Dome. And then over to the left, this is Stone's Peak. And then we do have a 13er, Taylor Peak. Looks like it's that one that kind of looks like a shark fin off in the distance. And then finally you have McHenry's Peak, which is the one that's kind of in the fog over there. So pretty interesting. And here's the end of the line. This is the overlook. Oh wow. It's another one of those days where the word wow never stops. A couple 13ers, glaciers, mountain lakes. Sam's still looking for elk. See these ones? That's a bull right there. All right, well, we just stumbled upon this kind of back dirt road here. There was about 15 elk up on this hillside that a couple people were spotting. I just had a good feeling they would be down here. You could see a female getting followed by a bull elk. And that might be the coolest sound you will ever hear. It is the rut right now. These bulls are chasing does all around these mountains. You can see another one off in the distance there. I'm guessing that's a female. Where'd the male go? Oh, he's coming out right now. Strutting his stuff. You see how many antlers he got? Oh yeah, I can see him from here. That is cool. An elk bugle is something you will never forget. I remember the first time I ever heard one. I was in Yellowstone by myself. Kind of freaked out because I knew, there were grizzly bears around, and I'm hiking by myself in the middle of grizzly country, and I hear an elk bugle. And I'm like, what in the world was that noise? And then eventually, you know, I did find out what an elk bugle was, and it is unforgettable. These bulls are probably fighting over these females here. It's a pretty haunting sounding noise. Another one. Is this your first time ever hearing a bugle? Probably.
It's the first time that I can't remember hearing it before.
Oh, you'd remember. But yeah, imagine being on a trail by yourself in the middle of Yellowstone and hearing that. It makes your hair stand up. Alrighty folks, well, all good things must come to an end, unfortunately. Estes Park is just off in the distance there, and I figured what better way to end this video as we find some bull elk, we hear some bugles. What a day. You know, we've climbed some mountains, we've seen a moose, elk, aspen tree, and peak fall foliage colors. We got glaciers, snow. It was just a whirlwind of a day. Might not have been the best hiking video I ever put together, but we tried our best to show you some of the high points of this beautiful national park here in the heart of the Rockies. So what'd you think today, Sam? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I thought it was a great day. Trying to figure out what he's doing down there. There's a bull elk down there, and he's just like digging into the ground.
Yeah, you can still see him bugling away. You can see the female peeling off to the right. But yeah, like I said, what better way to end the video here? This is I think Sam's favorite national park, right? So we made it a mission to come here for our pre-honeymoon, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, I thought we had a really great day.
But yeah, if you're still watching at this point, thank you. Means the world to both of us, both of Maxim Outdoorsers here. And we're gonna wrap things up here. I'll be back here at Rocky Mountain National Park tomorrow doing the most premier hike in all of Colorado. From what I heard, it's the best trail you can do in the entire state. So stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. And I'll see you next week, guys. All right, later. Well, we definitely don't want to go viral for the wrong reasons in this video and get too close to these guys. But this is pretty darn close. I'm probably going to be in a million people's photos.